Well, here we are, distance learners. We made it through a trimester, trying out some new stuff, and trying to adapt outdoor adventures to a distance learning format. We did it okay. We probably could have done better. We probably could have done worse. I hope you took something out of this course. But I wanted to leave you today with our last graded assignment. So we're not doing a final. There's no final assessment, but there will be one more assignment going in for a grade. And the only reason why we're grading it is because we do think it's one of the more like rewarding, beneficial activities that we do. So throughout this trimester, we've done a couple things that we call solos, which is where the goal would be to go out into nature, to disconnect electronically, to disconnect from each other for a minute, and to just sit and get inside your own head and reflect on, a given prompt. So I think at the beginning of the try, we talked about, hey, what are your expectations for this trimester? What are you worried about? Introduce yourself. What are you nervous about, excited for, and so forth. We did another one kind of partway through the trimester saying, like, hey, how things are going. What was your favorite unit? What was your favorite thing that we've done so far? And now we're kind of leaving you with this third prompt, and I'll get to that in a second. The more I kind of listen to podcasts and read some books about, neurobiology and psychology, like the importance of disconnecting and allowing your brain to just flow is becoming more and more apparent. Okay, like it's a necessary thing that you need to do for mental health, for creativity. Just allowing your brain to kind of defrag for a minute will increase your ability to be creative and to just genuinely have that moment of connection and reflection, not to others but to self. Super important going forward. So that was one of those aspects that we wanted to kind of instill throughout this trimester. So here's the goal, okay? Here is the assignment. We're doing this in class too with in-class students. This isn't busy work. This I think is one of the more beneficial things that we do. So for every year since I've been at Blaine, we've had students near the last day of school go out into bunker, find this quiet spot and write. And the prompt is write a letter to your future self, specifically 5-year future self. Talk about where you're at in high school. Like, what are your thoughts going into graduation? Like, graduation, is it's not everything. It's not like the culminating moment of your life, but it is a rite of passage, and it's a very symbolic kind of time here where you are transitioning from dependency, from where you're living at home and you have teachers making decisions for you and all these rules to follow and a lot of things being dictated to you, transitioning now to where, I mean, you're your own person here. You're making decisions for yourself. Many of you are moving out. Some of you are joining military. Some of you are going workforce. Some are going college. I mean, there's a lot of different routes that people are taking. So this is kind of the symbolic stepping stone. So where are you at? Like, what was high school like for you? What was school? What was your life up in these first 18 years like for you? What is your relationship with your parents like? Who are you friends with right now? Who are you dating? Who do you want to date? I don't know, like try to document as much stuff about yourself currently. Like, what is your state of mind right now? And kind of reflect on the past. Okay, reflect on the present. Where are you at currently? Like, what are you feeling as you kind of go into these last days of school? What are your emotions around these moments? Around maybe your last summer with high school friends, and so forth. Where are you at there? And then finally, like think about your future. In 5 years, what do you want to have accomplished? What are some things? What are some goals? What are some aspirations that you have that you, when looking into the future, if you could draw a perfect story for yourself, where will you be in 5 years? Okay. The more authentic and the more real you get with this, the more you're going to benefit from it. Because here's the deal: you get points for sealing this letter in an envelope, self-addressing it. Okay, we have envelopes at Blaine that have a Blaine High School return address. You can opt to show up and use those, or you can use one from home. I never read this. Mr. Osmek doesn't read it. Mr. Novak doesn't read it. These stay sealed in this envelope. You get points for turning in this envelope. You can honestly, if you want to cut the corners, and I'm sure a few of you will, you can fold up a piece of paper, throw it in an envelope, address it, and then in 5 years, you'll get a blank letter. This is not for me. This is a gift to you from you. Okay, we have boxes in the outdoor adventure room that say, hey, don't mail until 2023. That would be the graduating class of 2018. Don't mail until 2024. That's the graduating class of 2019, and so forth. We keep these 5-year boxes, and then what would it be on 2026? We're going to mail this box of letters to everybody who wrote one, and it's going to be a really cool moment for you, I think. That's the feedback that we get as far as when you get that letter. You're going to literally see how much you have grown as an individual from the time you graduated high school to that 5-year self. Some of you are going to achieve every goal that you set. Others of you aren't, and that's okay too. It can be kind of a redirection, or it can kind of be a thing like, man, I set the bar low. Look what I've done at this point in my life. When you get that letter, you've probably achieved more, or your path that you predicted for yourself or wished for yourself drastically different, for better or for worse, and that's cool too. But what you will see is how you have grown and changed and adapted as a human being. And I think that is super important as a self-assessment tool throughout life, to just see where you're at. Like we don't keep ourselves accountable. We kind of drift a little bit and we just kind of go with the flow. I think it's kind of fun to check in with yourself from time to time and literally celebrate some of that progress, and those successes that you've made as an individual. So again, go outside, free write, turn in an envelope, bring it into Blaine High School anytime this week. Okay, get it to myself, Mr. Osmek, Mr. Novak, and we will grade it. Okay, it will be a points in the grade book. So if you're on the cusp of something, grade wise, it will influence that for sure. Again, private writing, we don't read it. Just seal an envelope, self-address it. Like I said, we have envelopes in the outdoor adventure room as well, so we can get that for you if you need one too. Okay, you don't need to put a stamp on it. We take care of that. Just that's all you got. Okay, all you need is a piece of paper, a pen or pencil, and some time. Have fun with it. Like again, the more you put into it, the more you're gonna get out. Go into as much detail as possible. Speak positively about those in your life too. I told a story in class. I know at least 2 occasions. This is dark, so hang with me for a second. Of a student that had died between the time they wrote that and the time that but before we were able to mail it and we hand delivered it to the parents of that kid. And I've always kind of thought, shoot, man, what if that didn't reflect positively on their relationship, on them as a human being, if they were somebody that just flaked it or something like that. I've always been curious about that. That's the dark side of this too. You don't have to think morbidly about it, but it is something to consider as well. Okay, have fun with this assignment. I hope every distance learner takes this opportunity to do it. It's a worthwhile assignment. Um, I know this trimester wasn't perfect, but I hope you took something from it. My daughter is peeking in to say hello here right at the end. Say hi. Hi. I hope you guys took something from it. Um, it was interesting being a distance learning teacher. Definitely not my cup of tea. But all right, take it easy.